Hello, I'm Annette Stanton. I hope you're having an inspirational day. Today, I want to talk about making time for yourself and the importance of being in alignment. So, especially during those times, when ailment occurs or someone in the family you need to look after out of the blue, and you know that you're a busy business owner, leader, manager in business, whatever position you're in, and you know that you've got responsibilities, right up to here. And then something, a spanner gets thrown in there, and it's like, and your heart and soul gets tugged in that direction, and rightly so, if it's a loved one that's not very well. And this is what was happening with a leader I was speaking with yesterday who owns companies, and loved one not very well, and sending much, love, hoping he is okay. And but what was happening was that she was also feeling the stress as well, at the embodiment of that, the stress in mind, body, soul. And her question was, how do I make time for those things that I know that keep me in alignment, when I know I've got a backlog of work, when I know that I'm making time to be with my loved one? How do I put me first to fill my cup up? Because she could also feel that her stress levels and her heart was truly heavy, and I could hear it in her voice. So I asked her the question, what is it, that, well, actually, before I go there, she did mention to me that she took herself, normally she would take lunch, and she took herself outside to buy some lunch. And she for the first time felt this expansion of being outside in the middle of the day, right? So she made that time for herself, and she didn't realize how entrapped she had been, how she had been, lost that vitality from within herself because of the pressure and the stress and, time. She said, I just don't have time for anything, right? And then she admitted to me that there was a little voice as she was, looking at the shops and walking back to the office. There was a little voice inside saying, "Oh, let's just go over there. Let's just look at this." And I said, "And did you give that to yourself, even if it was 5 minutes?" And she said, "No, I was already busy in my mind about what else I had to do for the rest of the day." Yeah, she was already back in the office even before she was in the office. And I said, "Well, what if that extra 5 minutes for yourself was enough to get you into alignment and to feel a spaciousness from within, to be able to then put your oxygen mask on, not only for your company and your team, but also for your loved one?" So we have a tendency to think that when we don't have enough time, that we have to create big chunks of time for ourselves. And it's actually a myth. Now, I'm not saying it is easier said than done, right? Because of the habit. And generally, and this is a habit that I'd noticed, in working with this woman for quite some time, I'd noticed the pattern. She'd always push herself to the back, push herself to the back. Her alignment, and she knew, she actually defined to me the three things, because I said, what do you actually enjoy doing? And she defined the three things that she knew, like walking on the beach, and taking her dog for a walk. Our coaching sessions was another alignment, which also she'd kept cancelling, and but rightly so. When our cup is so full in our mind and our body, and with work and the stress, we all have that going on. It is then, how do you give yourself a little bit? And I just said, look, what if you just give yourself a little bit? It doesn't have to be all three. Give yourself that smallest little glimmer of, and state it, me time. This is me time, even if it's 5 minutes. You find something, and it's something, well, one of the quickest ways that I know how to get back into alignment is deep breathing. Quickest possible way, so that you can start to slow the mind and the body down and to come back into the body. But when we're stressed, everything's up here and we're anxious, and then it creates anxiety in the body, and tension in certain parts of the body. And as she said, I just can't think straight. So then you're not able to decompartmentalize all the things that need to be done. So then hence nothing gets done effectively, right? Can you relate to that? I can. We all can, right? So then it's first and foremost not to be hard on yourself. So that was what I mentioned to her. Just be gentle, right? Because our inner self-talk can run away with ourselves. So it's just being really gentle with yourself, and that can be a part of alignment as well for you, is to support yourself through your self-talk. Take some deep breaths so that you can feel grounded and get back into your belly. Bring the mind and, and the anxiety, breathe it. And even if you need to sigh, let it out, let it go. And it's being able to give yourself a break that says, not a break as in physical do nothing break, a break that says, okay, there's a lot happening. It's out of my control right now. What can I control? Yeah. And this too will pass. Because what if this, what's going on is a way of awakening new insights, which normally they are. When things happen and we feel a sense of anxiety, it's always an indicator to listen inwards to your truth. There is always an area that you let yourself down in that you didn't do for yourself back there. Not here and now, it's back there. But here and now, it feels, I've got no time, I've got no time, I've got no time. All right? Just like that 5 minutes. And my challenge to her was, number one was, even if you go out every day for 5 minutes just to breathe and look at the sky, give yourself that. Because the mind will take over. The logic brain will give you that big long list of things that you need to do. But I can assure you, as I said to her, I can assure you that when you get back to the office, you will feel so much freer. And when you take yourself home to your loved ones to support them, you will feel a sense of, I've got my cup full. So now I'm free without the strain, without the, it's not resentment, but there tends to be a life force energy that goes without. So it's choosing to be there. And when you choose to be there 100%, takes you in the present moment, and that is where the joy of life is. That is where the life force energy is. And, there's so much of a deeper conversation that can occur around this because there is no one size fits all. All I'm saying here is to make sure that you listen inwards to what feels right to you and give yourself that. Now, I know certain people that want to put head down, bum up and go for it. And if that's what works for them, right, it's different for everybody. But they wouldn't feel a sense, they would feel a flow, a zone, right, where she was totally out of her zone. She knew that this is not who I truly am. So finding ways, simple ways to get yourself back into alignment, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And it is simple, as in taking deep breaths, being present, being gentle on yourself with your self-talk. And if you'd like some support with that, please feel free to reach out and we can have a conversation on how to work together on, keeping you in alignment in the areas that are important to you. Thank you. I'm Annette Stanton. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye for now.